Number 3, 2 is less than k plus 45, the quantity k plus 45, times negative 1/5. So, step 1, distribute. Well, I guess step 1 is actually build my fence. So now I'm going to distribute this times this. So I have 2 is less than negative 1/5 times k is negative 1/5 k, and negative 1/5 times 45. Well, remember, to find 1/5 of something is the same as to divide by 5. You can think about the cross simplifying. A positive times a negative is a negative, and 1/5 of 45 is 9. Keep wanting to get the k by itself, so I'm going to add 9 so that I can get rid of that term, making it a 0. 2 plus 9 is 11. Have not multiplied and divided by a negative, so I keep my sign. I have negative 1/5 k. And now my final step, I want to get rid of the negative 1/5. I can either divide by it or I can multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So negative 5 over 1 times 11 is negative 55. And I have now multiplied both sides by a negative, so I need to make sure I change the direction of that sign. And the negative 1/5 times negative 1 over 1 makes 1, so I have 1k left. So if I have negative 55 is greater than k, that means k is less than negative 55. So if I'm graphing this, I want to put the negative 55 there. I want to go this direction is closer to 0, so it's negative 54. And this direction is negative 56 because it's getting further into the negatives. So open or closed. Well, k is less than, not or equal, so it's just an open because it can't actually equal negative 55. And k is all the numbers that are less than negative 55. So these are the numbers that are less than. Number 4, negative u plus 8 is greater than or equal to 4u minus 10. So I start by building a fence. I want to get all of the u's on one side. I like to deal with positive u, so I'm going to add a u to both sides. When I do that, I am left with a positive 8 greater than or equal to 4u plus another u is 5u's, and then minus 10. Get rid of the minus 10 by adding 10, and I get 18 is greater than or equal to 5u. Getting the u by itself, I divide by 5. I divide by 5, and I will end up with 18/5 is greater than or equal to u, which means u is less than or equal to 18/5, which is actually the same as, actually, 5 goes into 18 3 times, which is 15, so I have 3 left over out of 5. So that's actually that u is greater than or equal to 3 3/5. So how am I going to graph this? Well, if I know this is 3 and this is 4, how many parts do I want between 3 and 4? 5. In order to make 5 spaces, I've learned over time that I want 4 tick marks. So I have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5, which makes the next hole. Now, do I do open or closed? Well, it can actually equal it, so I want to actually put that place value there, that it does equal it. And then u is all the numbers that are smaller than it. So again, I'm going to shade the smaller side. Number 5, 8 times the quantity x minus 2 is greater than x divided by 2. Ooh, tricky. Okay, start by distributing. So I have 8x minus 16. Now I get really confused when I have x over 2 when I also have a coefficient in front of my x. So remember, if you have x being divided by 2, that's the same as multiplying by a half. Yay! So that's a half x. I want to get all the x's on one side. I think I'm going to subtract the half x first so that I have my x's on the left. When I do that, what's 8 minus a half? That leaves me with 7.5 x's minus 16 is greater than or equal to, what's left on that side? 0. So now I'm going to add 16 to both sides, and I get 7.5. Well, let's think. How can I rewrite 7.5 as a mixed number? 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15 over 2 x's. This makes 0. And that is 0 plus 16 is 16. So now, let's do the same thing to both sides of the equation. And I want to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 fifteenths, 2 fifteenths. And this will all simplify out to just x is greater than or equal to, and I'm not seeing anything that will simplify, so it looks like it's 32 over 15. So we could also say that x is greater than or equal to, 15 goes into 32, 2 whole times, which is 30, and 2 fifteenths left over. Now, when it comes to graphing, I personally don't want to split the space between 2 and 3 into fifteenths. So instead, I might just say, well, here's 2, and here is 2 and 1/15, 2 and 2/15, 2 and 3/15, and you've got the basic idea. So now, is this open or closed? Well, x is greater than this, so it can't equal it. So at the 2 and 2/15, I'm going to leave it open, and then it's all the numbers greater than it. So the greater ones are to the right. Thanks for watching.